Hi there folks, so this is the short video for my Spanish omelette recipe. There will also be a longer one on the channel for those people who are a lot less experienced in the kitchen, but this is the video for those that know their way around the kitchen, so it's a shorter edit, a bit tighter, just showing you the main things that you need to do and taking us through the recipe. If you like the video though, please share it among your socials, let them see it, because the fastest way for me to get more people watching this is actually letting other people see it, and the way we do that is if you like the video, let other people know. So, thank you. Let's crack on. Let's make a Spanish tortilla. So, first thing we require is 180 grams of gram flour sieved into a large mixing bowl, making sure to rub any stubborn lumpy bits through the sieve. And to the same bowl that has our gram flour, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of table salt. And next up, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika to the same bowl. And we're going to follow that up with a 1/4 teaspoon of red chilli flakes. And then mix everything together. Next up, measure out between 225 and 250 grams of peeled waxy potatoes. And slice them into 5 to 7 millimeter thick chunks. Add to a pan of cold water, bring to the boil and cook on the boil for 10 minutes. And whilst the potatoes are cooking, roughly chop 1 red bell pepper. And now move the chopped red pepper onto a silicone lined baking tray and set aside for now. And now we're looking for somewhere in the region of 120 grams to 140 grams of cherry tomatoes. And we're looking to quarter our tomatoes, and then we're going to add these to a separate silicone lined baking tray from the one that our red peppers are on. And by now our potatoes should be about ready, so we're going to drain the potatoes into a colander in our sink. And once drained, we're just going to leave these to cool until we require them. And back on to preparing the rest of our vegetables, and we're going to need between 75 and 100 grams of asparagus, fresh or frozen. And we then want to chop our asparagus into slices between 5 and 10 millimeters thick. And now add the asparagus to the same tray as our red bell pepper. And now we require some broccoli, either fresh or frozen, as we don't need a massive quantity of broccoli. Frozen broccoli is a good way to go. We're looking for 100 to 125 grams. Next up, we need our garlic, between 2 to 4 cloves, or roughly a half to 1 block of frozen crushed garlic. And roughly chop your garlic and set aside in a ramekin. And next up, we require 1 onion. If it's a brown onion, it's about a medium size. If it's a red onion, it's a large size. And thinly slice the onion as thin as you can, and then set it aside in a bowl until it's required. Remember and cover it to protect your eyes. Now, if you are using any frozen veg, such as I was with the broccoli here, once it's completely defrosted, just take and pour out any of that water out of it into your sink. Had you been using fresh broccoli, you could have jumped straight onto this stage earlier, but because I had to let it defrost, this is me only now going to start chopping up my broccoli. We're looking for 5 to 10 millimeter chunks. We're not looking them to be large. Basically, think of the size of your tomato quarters, and that's roughly what we're looking to chop them to, that sort of size, no larger than the tomato quarters. And then take and add the broccoli florets to the same tray as our chopped tomatoes. And your potatoes should be cool enough to handle, so now just take and transfer them onto a wee side plate and set aside until we need them. And now we're going to add both our baking trays of vegetables into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius, and we're going to put them in there for 20 minutes. And now that our 20 minutes is up, we're going to remove the charred vegetables from the oven, and we're going to very carefully transfer these to a bowl so that we don't burn ourselves. And now I'm looking for you to weigh out somewhere between 225 and 235 millilitres or grams of water. It's the same thing when it comes to water. And the reason I do that, it's more accurate than your jug. And now in very small amounts, we're going to add the water to our gram flour mixture. The reason you do it in small amounts is it helps prevent lumping. If you pour in a little bit, mix it together, pour in a little bit more, mix it together, and pour in a little bit more and mix it together, rather than dumping it all in one go. You're going to have a lot less lumps in your flour if you do it that way. And once fully mixed together, we can now add our charred vegetables and just give it a quick mix together with a spatula. And next is the same thing with our potatoes, so add them to the mixture and a wee quick mix together with a spatula again. And now we're ready to get cooking. So to a large saute pan or a frying pan, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and we're going to bring that up to a medium-high heat. And once at temperature, we're going to add our sliced onion to the saute pan and we're going to sweat that for 8 minutes. Now periodically, once or twice, we're going to stir the onions and then we're going to get the lid straight back on. And once our 8 minutes is over, we're going to add the garlic and we're going to cook it for another 4 minutes, but again with the lid on. So get the garlic in, give it a good stir together and put the lid back on. By now the onions should be quite soft compared to where they were, but we're looking for a little bit of caramelisation to form as well. And once the 4 minutes has passed, 12 minutes since we started cooking, we're going to take and we're going to transfer the garlic and the onion into the bowl with all the rest of our flour mixture. And once again, give everything a good thorough stirring and mixing together. We want to try and get everything evenly distributed. Takes a little bit of effort, but not much. And now we want to add our 2 remaining tablespoons of vegetable oil and we're going to set the pan onto a medium heat. And then we want to add our flour vegetable mixture. We're going to even this out, level it out using the mixing spatula once it's all in the pan. Be quick, but don't be too quick so you cause yourself any injury on the oil, but we want to get it all in, then move everything around just so we get right up to the edges and get a nice even leveling of the mixture. And we're going to again cover with our lid and we're going to cook it like this for 20 minutes. And once the 20 minutes is over, remove the pan from the heat. Leave the lid on at this moment. Now, there's going to be a lot of steam here, so be careful when we take the lid off, as it's going to come billowing out. And using our spatula, we're just going to slide it round the edge of the pan and break any seal where the Spanish tortilla has gone and welded to it. There shouldn't be much, if any at all, but it will be some adherence. Just slide that round to break the seal. And now using a plastic fish slice, segment your tortilla into 3 equal sections. Next, take under one of the edges and we're going to slide the fish slice under and we're going to lift it out. If you need to, go in with your spatula just to break any bits that you didn't cut apart just perfectly with the slice. Now, other sauces are an option, but please try it with sweet chili sauce first. Drizzle some sweet chili sauce quite generously over your Spanish tortilla and then yum yum yum. And so there we go. Vegan Spanish omelette. Spanish tortilla, whatever way you want to think of it. And don't forget your sweet chili sauce. It really helps just enhance all the flavours, bringing it out. You've got a lovely crusty base on it. It's not too much crust, not too much crunch, but just adds a little bit to the textures that are all going in your mouth. I'm going to try and put this in without dropping it, but there's a bit already hanging. Again, there's a real breadth coming across it. You've got all the different veg in there. You've got sweet chilli helping draw it all out. You've got a lot of softness throughout with the garam base, or the garam flour base. It's just yummy. So give it a go. Let me know if you make it. And thanks for watching. Stay safe, folks. All the best.